An overtemperature fault on a Cutler-Hammer 9000 VFD may occur even if the VFD is not excessively hot. This issue can stem from a malfunctioning redundant backup component within the VFD. The solution involves removing the ice cube relay located on the upper left side of the VFD. This relay serves as a redundant backup for the VFD overtemperature protection. A faulty relay can trigger false overtemperature readings, leading to unnecessary shutdowns. To address this, firstly, locate the ice cube relay on the upper left of the VFD. Secondly, remove the relay from its socket and discard it. Thirdly, power cycle the VFD by turning it off and then back on. By removing the relay, the primary overtemperature protection system will remain functional and prevent overheating. This solution is specific to the Cutler-Hammer 9000 VFD. Other VFD models may have different backup systems and require different troubleshooting steps. Always refer to the manufacturer's documentation or consult a qualified technician for assistance when troubleshooting any electrical equipment. It's crucial to understand that variable frequency drives, or VFDs, are complex pieces of equipment. They control the speed of AC motors by varying the frequency and voltage supplied to the motor. This allows for precise control of motor speed and torque, which is essential in many industrial applications. The overtemperature protection system within a VFD is designed to prevent damage to the drive from excessive heat. Heat can be generated by various factors, including high ambient temperatures, overloading of the motor, or internal component failures within the VFD. The overtemperature protection system typically consists of temperature sensors that monitor the temperature of critical components within the VFD, such as the heatsink for the power semiconductors. If the temperature exceeds a preset threshold, the VFD will trip, shutting down the motor to prevent further damage. The redundant backup system, in this case the ice cube relay, is intended to provide an extra layer of protection in case the primary overtemperature protection system fails. However, if the redundant system itself malfunctions, it can lead to false trips and unnecessary downtime. When troubleshooting a VFD overtemperature fault, it's important to first verify that the VFD is actually overheating. Check the ambient temperature around the VFD and ensure that it is within the VFD operating range. Also, check the motor load and ensure that it is not exceeding the motor's rated capacity. If the VFD is not actually overheating, the problem is likely with the overtemperature protection system itself. In this case, the solution is to remove the faulty redundant backup component as described earlier. Remember that this solution is specific to the Cutler-Hammer 9000 VFD. If you are working with a different VFD model, consult the manufacturer's documentation for specific troubleshooting instructions. Working with electrical equipment can be dangerous, so it's important to take precautions to protect yourself from electric shock. Always disconnect power to the VFD before working on it and use appropriate personal protective equipment such as gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electrical equipment, consult a qualified technician for assistance. The ice cube relay, being an electromechanical device, is susceptible to failure over time due to factors such as contact wear, coil degradation, and environmental conditions. The relay's function is to provide a redundant signal to the VFD control circuitry, indicating an overtemperature condition. When the relay fails, it may send a false signal, triggering the VFD to shut down even when the actual temperature is within acceptable limits. Before removing the relay, it's a good practice to visually inspect it for any signs of damage, such as cracked housing, burnt contacts, or loose connections. However, even if the relay appears to be in good condition, it may still be malfunctioning internally. After removing the relay, carefully examine the socket for any signs of corrosion or damage. Clean the socket if necessary to ensure good contact with the new relay if a replacement is planned later on. When power cycling the VFD, allow sufficient time for the internal capacitors to discharge completely. This will help to prevent damage to the VFD electronic components. After power cycling the VFD, monitor its operation closely to ensure that the overtemperature fault does not recur. If the fault persists, further troubleshooting may be required. This may involve checking the temperature sensors, wiring connections, and other components of the overtemperature protection system. In some cases, it may be necessary to replace the entire VFD if the overtemperature fault cannot be resolved. When replacing a VFD, be sure to select a model that is compatible with the motor and the application. Also, follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully when installing the new VFD. The removal of the ice cube relay effectively disables the redundant overtemperature protection. Therefore, it is crucial to ensure that the primary overtemperature protection system is functioning correctly. Regularly inspect the VFD cooling system, including the fan and heat sink, to ensure that they are clean and free of obstructions. This will help to prevent the VFD from overheating. Also, monitor the motor load and ensure that it is not exceeding the motor's rated capacity. Overloading the motor can cause it to overheat, which can damage both the motor and the VFD. It's also important to consider the environmental conditions in which the VFD is operating. High ambient temperatures can reduce the VFD capacity and increase the risk of overheating. If the VFD is located in a hot environment, it may be necessary to provide additional cooling, such as forced air ventilation or air conditioning. Furthermore, be aware that some VFD have programmable parameters that can affect the overtemperature protection settings. These parameters may include the overtemperature trip point, the overtemperature warning level, and the response time to an overtemperature condition. It is important to understand these parameters and to configure them appropriately for the application. Incorrectly configured overtemperature protection settings can lead to nuisance trips or, conversely, to damage to the VFD from overheating. In addition to the overtemperature protection system, VFD also have other protection features, such as overcurrent protection, overvoltage protection, and undervoltage protection. These protection features are designed to protect the VFD and the motor from damage due to electrical faults. It is important to understand these protection features and to ensure that they are functioning correctly. Regularly inspect the VFD and the motor for any signs of damage, such as loose connections, frayed wires, or overheating components. Address any problems promptly to prevent further damage. Keep accurate records of VFD maintenance and repairs. This will help to track the VFD performance over time and to identify any potential problems. Consult with a qualified electrician or VFD technician for assistance with any complex troubleshooting or repairs. They have the expertise and equipment to diagnose and resolve VFD problems safely and effectively. When working with VFD, always follow proper safety procedures and use appropriate personal protective equipment. Electrical shock can be fatal. If you are not comfortable working with electrical equipment, consult a qualified technician for assistance. Always refer to the manufacturer's documentation for specific information about the VFD model you are working with. The documentation will provide detailed information about the VFD operation, maintenance, and troubleshooting. Variable frequency drives are sophisticated electronic devices that require careful handling and maintenance. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure the reliable and safe operation of your VFD. The specific location of the ice cube relay on the upper left side of the VFD is a crucial detail for efficient troubleshooting. Different VFD models may have different component layouts, so it is important to refer to the manufacturer's documentation or wiring diagrams to accurately locate the relay. The ice cube relay is typically a small, rectangular component with a clear plastic housing, hence the name ice cube. It usually has multiple pins or terminals that connect to the VFD control circuitry. When removing the relay, it is important to use the correct tools and techniques to avoid damaging the socket or the surrounding components. A small screwdriver or a relay puller can be used to gently pry the relay from its socket. Avoid using excessive force, as this can damage the socket or the relay pins. Once the relay is removed, inspect the socket for any signs of corrosion or damage. Clean the socket if necessary to ensure good contact with the replacement relay if one is to be installed later. When power cycling the VFD, it is important to follow the manufacturer's recommended procedure. This typically involves turning off the main power supply to the VFD and waiting for a certain period of time, usually several minutes, before turning the power back on. This allows the internal capacitors to discharge completely, which can prevent damage to the VFD electronic components. After power cycling the VFD, monitor its operation closely to ensure that the overtemperature fault does not recur. Check the VFD display for any error codes or alarms. Also, monitor the motor's performance to ensure that it is operating smoothly and efficiently. If the overtemperature fault persists, further troubleshooting may be required. This may involve checking the temperature sensors, wiring connections, and other components of the overtemperature protection system. A multimeter can be used to check the resistance and voltage levels of these components. A thermal imager can be used to identify any hot spots or areas of excessive heat within the VFD. In some cases, it may be necessary to replace the entire VFD if the overtemperature fault cannot be resolved. This is a costly option, but it may be the only way to ensure the reliable and safe operation of the motor. When replacing a VFD, it is important to select a model that is compatible with the motor and the application. The VFD should be sized appropriately for the motor's horsepower and voltage requirements. Also, the VFD should have the necessary features and functions for the application. The VFD should be installed and configured by a qualified electrician or VFD technician. They have the expertise and equipment to ensure that the VFD is installed correctly and that it is operating safely and efficiently. Variable frequency drives are complex electronic devices that require careful handling and maintenance. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure the reliable and safe operation of your VFD. The removal of the ice cube relay should be considered a temporary solution. The root cause of the overtemperature fault should be investigated and addressed. It is possible that the relay failed due to a problem elsewhere in the VFD control circuitry. Replacing the relay without addressing the underlying problem may result in the relay failing again in the future. If the overtemperature fault is caused by a problem with the motor, such as an overloaded motor or a faulty motor winding, the motor should be repaired or replaced. Operating a motor that is overheating can damage the motor in the VFD. Regular maintenance is essential for ensuring the reliable and safe operation of VFD. This includes cleaning the VFD cooling system, inspecting the wiring connections, and checking the VFD parameters. It also includes monitoring the motor's performance and addressing any problems promptly. Accurate records of VFD maintenance and repairs should be kept. This will help to track the VFD performance over time and to identify any potential problems. Consult with a qualified electrician or VFD technician for assistance with any complex troubleshooting or repairs. They have the expertise and equipment to diagnose and resolve VFD problems safely and effectively. When working with VFD, always follow proper safety procedures and use appropriate personal protective equipment. Electrical shock can be fatal. If you are not comfortable working with electrical equipment, consult a qualified technician for assistance. The redundant backup system involving the ice cube relay is designed to enhance the reliability of the overtemperature protection. However, the failure of the redundant system highlights the importance of regular maintenance and monitoring. The VFD internal temperature sensors should be periodically checked for accuracy. A faulty temperature sensor can lead to false overtemperature readings and unnecessary shutdowns. The VFD cooling fan should be inspected regularly to ensure that it is operating properly. A malfunctioning cooling fan can cause the VFD to overheat, even if the motor is not overloaded. The VFD wiring connections should be checked for tightness and corrosion. Loose or corroded connections can cause voltage drops and overheating. The VFD parameters should be reviewed periodically to ensure that they are set correctly for the application. Incorrectly configured parameters can lead to nuisance trips or to damage to the VFD. A power quality analyzer can be used to monitor the voltage and current waveforms supplied to the VFD. Poor power quality can damage the VFD and the motor. The VFD should be protected from voltage surges and spikes. A surge suppressor can be installed to protect the VFD from these transient voltage events. The VFD should be located in a clean and dry environment. Dust and moisture can damage the VFD electronic components. The VFD should be protected from physical damage. The VFD should be mounted securely and protected from impact. The VFD should be inspected regularly for any signs of damage, such as cracked housing, burnt components, or loose connections. Any damage should be repaired promptly. When replacing components within the VFD, use only genuine replacement parts. Counterfeit parts can damage the VFD and void the warranty. The VFD should be disposed of properly at the end of its service life. VFD contain hazardous materials that must be disposed of in accordance with local regulations. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure the reliable and safe operation of your VFD and to extend their service life. The overtemperature fault described could also stem from issues external to the VFD itself. For example, if the motor being controlled by the VFD is located in a poorly ventilated area, the motor could overheat, causing the VFD to trip on overtemperature. Similarly, if the motor is driving a load that is too heavy for it, the motor could overheat and cause the VFD to trip. Before assuming that the problem lies within the VFD, it's always a good idea to check the motor and the load to rule out any external causes of overheating. The Cutler-Hammer 9000 VFD, like many modern VFD, likely has a built-in data logging feature. This feature records various operating parameters, such as motor current, voltage, frequency, and temperature over time. Reviewing this data log can provide valuable insights into the cause of the overtemperature fault. For example, the data log might show that the motor current was consistently higher than normal before the VFD tripped, indicating that the motor was overloaded. Or the data log might show that the VFD internal temperature was steadily rising over time, suggesting a problem with the cooling system. Analyzing the data log can help to pinpoint the root cause of the overtemperature fault and to prevent it from happening again in the future. After addressing the overtemperature issue, it's a good idea to perform a comprehensive test of the VFD and the motor to ensure that everything is working properly. This test should include checking the motor's speed, torque, and current draw at various operating points. It should also include checking the VFD output voltage and frequency to ensure that they are within the specified limits. Finally, it should include monitoring the VFD internal temperature to ensure that it is not overheating. Performing this comprehensive test can help to identify any remaining problems and to ensure that the VFD and the motor are operating safely and efficiently. Remember to consult the manufacturer's documentation for the Cutler-Hammer 9000 VFD for specific testing procedures and safety precautions. Always prioritize safety when working with electrical equipment.